All right, hey, good morning. I hope you're having a great day so far. Um, some of you know that I coach basketball in addition to coaching, real estate agents and loan officers and managers. But yeah, I coach basketball as well. And this is state week. And so I want to share with you just a little bit about our preparation this season, this basketball season, and as it's led up to state week and kind of what we're thinking about this week and how that might apply to you and your business. So we'll talk about that in just a second. Okay, so I've mentioned this is it's a fun week for me. It's a state week. I help coach a basketball team, high school basketball team. One of my sons, is a part of that this year. He's a freshman, and so yeah, it's all hands on deck in order to put as much time and effort and energy into preparing for this run at state with games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Well, how does that apply to you? Well, let me try and make the connection this way. State is the end goal. Like even winning state, like that's the end goal. Like that's the target that as a group we're trying to reach. Now that said, we preach to the kids all the time. We don't want your identity to be tied up in basketball. You are not. You can't equate yourself with the score on the scoreboard or how many points you did or didn't score. Like that's not who you are. And similar to that, like winning state or not winning state, like that doesn't define who you are either. Like there's a huge part with the journey along the way. Like those are the things that the kids will remember. And so, but that said, like the goal, the target is state, to win a state championship. And so when you're getting ready to enter a new season, like we were 3 months ago, like as coaches, you have to think about like, well, how could we help get the most out of these kids and bring them together so that they could actually reach their potential, which may or may not be enough to win basketball games, to make it through the district tournament, to get to state, to win state. We don't know, but like we're not sure where their ceiling is, what their potential is, but how could we help them get there? How could we positively influence that? And so I believe the biggest piece of that is culture, like culture formation and trying to help these kids come together to believe in themselves, to believe in one another, to play for one another, to be positive, to be relentless. And you develop these characteristics in your culture that help fuel their performance. And that's how you get a team to reach their full potential. And the opposite of that is true as well. You know, if you, as a coach, it doesn't matter if the sport is football or basketball or whatever, but like if your team doesn't believe in the message of the coach, they don't, like if they feel down and discouraged or fearful as opposed to optimistic, they're not going to play their best. If there's selfishness and infighting, they're not going to play their best. There's no way that team can reach its full potential. So I believe there's a one-to-one connection with that concept with regards to you and your team and your culture and the potential that you have that you can fulfill. And if your culture if you can look at it in a long-term thing, that like, here's the destination I want to get. This is how many closed loans or sales or transactions or whatever. This is how many I want to get to in this period of time. But also looking at the long view, like what's the culture characteristics that I need to have in place in order to get to that destination or at least reach my maximum potential. And so I'll tell you today, a great place to start is just start thinking about, well, what is the current culture with regards to my team? And number two, how can I build and improve that culture so we really can reach our full potential? Now, some of those of you that are watching, you may have a very robust team. Perhaps you're a branch manager, district manager, and like you've got 10 to 100, 200 people below you that you're influencing big time. You have a huge responsibility, if not your biggest, is culture formation and how that's going. But some of you watching today, like you may be thinking, well, I don't have an assistant. I don't have, people that report directly to me, but you do have a team. And so just imagine if you're a loan officer without an assistant, you do have a processor or processors that you work with. You have an underwriter or underwriters that you have the opportunity to build relationship with. And then I would, as a part of your team, is also the people that refer the transaction in, the affiliate partners, title companies, attorneys, the appraisers. You have these other relationships as well that are tied into the transaction and have a huge potential impact for the culture with these people to make a transaction better or significantly worse. And so my encouragement for you today is to build into your culture, to look at it and go, what could I do to build into these people, to create an environment that is positive, that is upbeat, that we're relentless in attacking problems, that we're optimistic. That type of culture is infectious, and people want to be a part of a team that is optimistic, where they can see the end goal and they want to get there together, and they feel like we are trying to do this together, and that it's not all about that person, or my individual efforts are going to be graded as pass fail. There's negativity is removed. When those things happen, culture explodes in a positive way. And the biggest thing is, like, you have the potential as an originator, as a real estate agent, to reach your potential, your max potential. And so often we neglect culture and just think about, what are the tasks I got to get done today in order to get this transaction done. And we're not thinking about building into people in order to reach our full potential. So think about that. I mean, I know I am. Like, we are playing on and talking about and teaching on points of emphasis from the beginning of the season on playing for one another, and competitive greatness, and all these different things that we have worked on for months to get them to come together and play together. The same is true for you. Build positive rapport and culture with your group, and man, you'll have the best possibility of reaching your full potential. Okay, well, I hope that helps, and we'll see you again for the next video soon. Thanks, bye.